So, YouTube drama has been a topic we brought up past few weeks, and because of Markiplier and PewDiePie talking about it, and our pal GradeAUnderA talked about it, about YouTube drama and why there's a difference between drama and actually spreading the word on something that's important that you should know about, and that's how I want to sort of couch this conversation we're about to have. So, in his really lively video, GradeAUnderA, after really viciously attacking Markiplier, he probably went a little over the top. Grade, you went a little over the top, I'll say that, but I still love you. But your points were still valid. He viciously called out Matthew Santoro. I mean, viciously. Matthew Santoro is a guy that's grown in prominence the past couple years. I think he has 500,000 YouTube subscribers.
Jesus.
He does the edutainment sort of genre where it's like, hey guys, here to talk about the top 10, scariest serial killers of the 20th century, or the top 10 weird science facts that you didn't know, like stuff like that, where they're list based,
Right.
For the most part. And these type of videos have been done before, maybe not list based, but my like Vsauce, for example, they do like these sciencey based, intelligent videos that are also entertaining, and people love them. They like to learn. People like to learn and like to be entertained. And when you combine it and make it fun, people are all there for it.
Yeah.
So Matthew Santoro has built his YouTube empire upon doing this. The problem is, Grade points out, probably plagiarized a lot of those videos from other websites, including one called Listverse. So if you go to Listverse, Ian, you can literally look up articles of lists. For example, the top 10 alleged battles between humans and aliens.
What the fuck? Okay.
I want to read that right now.
Sure.
The top 10 ordinary things people did that turned horribly disastrous. 10 controversial artifacts that could have changed history. 10 bizarre ways scientists believe aliens will contact. So this is a website where they hire writers to go and research this stuff. Probably from Google, Wikipedia. You click on an article and it lays out these cool facts for you. And there's bizarre, entertainment, general knowledge, lifestyle, science, society. This is cool content. People have spent time, and people are hired to write these articles. So what Grade alleges in his video, he shows a list that Matthew did that were exactly the same, where Matthew Santoro sounds like Listverse is his go-to place for his one-stop shop for his videos, where he'll just go there, find the list, and make a video version of that list and run it down top to bottom.
That's not cool.
It's plagiarism.
Yeah, there's a word for that. It's
plagiarism. So, Grade called him out. Matthew Santoro then responded saying, I appreciate everyone's concern. I'll let you know that going forward, I'm going to be citing all my future videos and going back and citing all my past videos. That's great. It's still plagiarism.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you cite something. It's still plagiarism. There's a rule when you use sources of information, you only can use a certain amount.
Yeah, I was going to say, a citation, if you're writing a paper, a citation has a very specific sort of boundaries in terms of what you can use.
Yes.
You cannot cite an entire paper and just be like, cool, it's mine. That doesn't fucking work. Same thing for a video. You can't just say, I'm using this person's... It's still plagiarism.
So, to me, I sort of look at this as getting caught with PEDs in baseball. Because Matthew Santoro has built a YouTube empire now off of other people's work. And so what? He got caught. He already has all the subscribers. He already has millions of views and is making a ton of money doing it. So what if he's humiliated a little bit by Grade and by others now? And plus, there's other people videos pointing out the other videos, more specifically that he's also ripped off from Listverse. Listverse even came out and said, yeah, we've been concerned about this, about people doing this, because they pay people to write those articles. And now here's a guy making money off of Listverse and maybe other sites that he shouldn't be doing. So the problem is he's still there. He's not going to stop doing it. That's how he's built his empire. But how is it allowed to get to this point? That's the issue. Why are other YouTubers not... Other YouTubers might know about this stuff, but they're afraid to talk about it. That's where I'm going to get into. So, Boogie2988 is a big YouTuber. a million subscribers or more. He talks about stuff going on YouTube. He talks about game stuff. He does his Francis rants. He does unboxing videos. He did a video that he's pulled down. He did a couple videos. The first video, he basically wanted to look at Grade A versus Matthew Santoro and try to be objective. He pointed out at the beginning of the video that he's on friendly terms with Matthew Santoro. So right there, you know that, okay, it could be a bias coming in. But by the end of the video, whether he consciously realized it or not, and I wish the video was still there so other people could look at it, he basically defends Matthew Santoro in the video, saying, I see it being cool because he's going to start citing sources and then everything's going to be fine. Not realizing the fact that it's still extremely wrong. You can't undo the fact that he ripped off all the people in the past, and there's going to be no penalty for it at all.
Right.
And again, citing a source doesn't mean plagiarism is good. It just isn't. That'd be like, okay, I take a book and I just do an audio version of the book, and it's mine now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's not transformative. That's not how it works. That's not fair use.
No, turning text into a video is not right. You're not making it your own thing.
Absolutely not. I can't take the script from Captain America Civil War and read it on YouTube. That's still copyright infringement.
Yeah.
You can't do it. It's not mine. So, Boogie2988 got a lot of backlash for that video because it seemed like he was supporting Matthew Santoro. And honestly, when I watched it, it seemed like he was tiptoeing around it, but it seemed like he was trying to say, yeah, everything's cool. It's not a big deal. So he had to put out a second video basically saying he doesn't want to talk. Boogie2988 doesn't want to talk about drama anymore, and he's done with it, and he won't talk about. He apologized to Matthew Santoro. He apologized to PewDiePie and Markiplier and anyone else that could have been drama related. I forget if he apologized to the Fine Brothers in there. I hope he didn't, because there's no reason to. So we're in a state now where you have YouTubers that are huge, that are now coming out and saying drama channels are bad for whatever reason, whether they don't want to be spotlighted on themselves or don't want their friends to be spotlighted. But now you have other bigger YouTubers that seem to be, for one reason or other, unwilling or afraid to call out other big YouTubers for bullshit that they're doing, because they either know them or afraid that if they call out, and Boogie2988 said in his video, I don't want other YouTubers to look at me like that, they have to be afraid of me because I might talk about stuff they're doing. Which I understand, because sometimes with us, I feel like we could get into that situation at some point, or maybe someone we know is doing something shitty, that if we talk about it, then maybe they'll look at us in a different way or be afraid, say, oh, maybe Pat and Ian will talk about us. But what I'm going to say though is this, is that if people do bad shit, you have to call out. You have to call them out on it.
Yeah, you can't let fucking fucked up stuff slide.
Especially when it's YouTube. And YouTube's still in this infancy where there is no self-policing being done, really. And this is the start of it. Guys like H3H3 going off on prank channels. Guys like Grade A talking about reaction videos and how awful they are. Or in this case, talking about Matthew Santoro and alleged plagiarism of other people's work. This is important. People have to know this stuff is happening. People had to have known what the Fine Brothers were trying to do, what they were doing. It's important work to be done. And the bigger voice you have, I feel you have a bigger responsibility to let that be known. Now, if you want to say, well, it's not worth it for me because of the potential drama and people, fine, I understand that. But I'm just going to say this then. I'm disappointed. I'm just disappointed. Because we don't have that as big a voice of people like Boogie or Grade A. And I feel like if those people aren't the ones saying it, then it doesn't matter. You can get away with it, and there's no justice. I hate to say it. Yeah. It's sad.
And you don't have... The thing about it is you don't have to let it devolve into schoolyard drama. You can call something out for being bullshit and then not carry it on over weeks and months. Sure. You can call something out and you can walk away from it, but you need to still bring it to the attention of people so they know. That doesn't mean that you have to keep dipping back into it.
Sure.
But you should call it out.
I think you have that you have a responsibility. And I hate it gets to the point where I don't want to offend bigger YouTubers. Then what is it, an oligarchy then at that point? You got to be afraid of people at the top, and they can get away with whatever they can.
Right.
At that point, that's what it sounds like. So, not to get into more about Matthew Santoro, but I've heard other things about him that are not pleasing. We'll just say, allegedly, he was at VidCon, and was during a panel talking about the panel was, let's see, not sure the name of the panel, but basically he said in a panel with other edutainment YouTubers that Matthew Santoro said it was okay being wrong with information in the video, and that the research he did was scant, and that it was up to the audiences to figure out what was the truth or not.
No, that's BS. They come to you looking for truthful information.
Supposedly at this panel, which it seems like there's no video evidence of, since Matthew Santoro had a vlog of it himself, then took it down off his Instagram.
That's incriminating.
People on the panel disagreed with him about it. So if anyone out there has this panel, sounds like it was from VidCom with Matthew Santoro, I'd love to see it, because it'd be another piece of incriminating evidence to show you the modus operandi of what he's doing. But again, I gotta be afraid of him now because I'm pointing out something wrong. No, I don't agree with that. I think here's the problem. Again, with self-policing, like comedians self-police. If you're a hack comedian, if you steal, you are run out of the community.
Yep.
But for a while, though, there was one big comedian that got away with it. There was actually two for a while. One to a lesser degree, though. But the bigger one was Carlos Mencia.
Yeah.
So Carlos Mencia was stealing jokes from several comedians, and he was rising in popularity year after year. He had a big show on Comedy Central. Remember after Chappelle's show?
Yeah, Mind of Mencia.
They slid in Mind of Mencia basically in the same slot. It was on for like 4 years, and it was the same sort of humor, racial but more Mexican, Hispanic, and he was huge. He was the biggest probably comedian for like 2, 3, 4 years, and no one was talking about this guy being a joke stealer. But finally, Joe Rogan, only guy, stood up, and Joe Rogan was a guy at that time wasn't the biggest comedian. He was doing UFC stuff. He was coming off of that the series on NBC. I forget. He was doing the reality show as well. Off Fear Factor. Rogan, he spoke up and he could have got crushed.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why other comedians said, "I don't want to cross Carlos Mencia. He's got a lot of sway." But Rogan pounded on it and said, "This guy, you're a joke stealer. You don't deserve anything that you have. I'm going to talk about it." And eventually, it stuck. Yeah. And eventually, Mencia, he's nowhere to be found anymore. His show, after a while, after those stuff was gone, other comedians finally said, "You know what? I'm going to stand with Joe Rogan and say, oh yeah, you used to be stealing my jokes for years, but I was afraid to talk about it." And Mencia is now supposedly a guy who goes to therapy about this stuff, which, hate to say it, you did it. You stole the jokes. You got your money. You got to live with it.
Right. So
the point is that it's not drama if people are doing shitty stuff and you call them out on it.
Sure. You have to. It's not drama. It's policing.
If people in the community harass GameStop employees, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
We will.
Yep.
Well, I don't care about the repercussions.
Never going to fucking stop.
So that's what it comes down to. Sorry to say. So I hope, Boogie, if you're out there, I didn't want this to sound harsh because I do like what you do, but I hope you reconsider and figure out the difference between self-policing that should be done on YouTube and saying no more drama, because there is a difference. And when people do really bad stuff, you need bigger spotlights to come on to it.